The Buzz with your host, Kathy Miller.
Good morning. Welcome back to The Buzz. I'm your host, Kathy Miller. It is Tuesday, June 16th, and we've had a bit of a rocky start to The Buzz here this morning. You know what I think this means? If there's been technical difficulties, I think the universe is saying, you know what, just wrap it up, everybody. Go home for the rest of the week. You started with the holiday Monday. Thank you to His Majesty, King Charles III, where we had the official birthday celebrations for him yesterday. So, you know, that's how we began the week, was with the public holiday. I say we just keep on going. You know, we do have World Cup happening. There's a lot of games people want to watch. We know that the productivity in the workplace may not be as busy as usual. Besides the fact that it is summer, it is also World Cup time every 4 years. So come on, guys, you know. Give your workers a bit of a break. They're going to take one anyways. They're going to enjoy the game. Just let them enjoy. Football brings us all together. I might talk about that a little bit more, but I want to talk about a huge, huge thing that happened over the weekend. And I really hope Cayman grasps just how huge this was. Cayman's track stars, Jaden Reed and Devontae Howell, have done incredible at the NCAA tournament over the weekend. Jaden Reed has broken a 19-year collegiate record in the NCAA 200-meter men's final with his stunning time of 19.63 seconds. Let's just take a moment to understand that. 19.63 seconds. He has never run sub 20 before the weekend. And he ran, breaking a 19-year record held since 2007. Cayman's own Jaden Reed broke that. This places Jaden Reed with a new national record, a personal best. He has the world lead, people. World lead. If you look up right now, go to Google, type in, who is the world lead in the men's 200 meter currently? You're going to see Jaden Reed from the Cayman Islands with 19.63 seconds. He also broke the collegiate record, the meet record, and the championship record. Jaden Reed also holds the fourth fastest time in 2025 and 2026 seasons so far, with Olympians and decorated athletes Noah Lyles claiming the two fastest times and Kenny Bednarik the third. And Jaden Reed's he's not a professional athlete as yet. He's still at LSU. So his time of 19.63 seconds would have earned Jaden a bronze medal in the Paris 2024 Olympics, knocking Noah Lyles to fourth. If only that was the scenario. If only the weekend was the Paris 2024 Olympics. But think about this, Cayman. You very, very, very well just may have an Olympic medal coming your way. I'm going to put that out there. That's what I think is going to happen in the next Olympics. I think the Cayman Islands is going to medal. And one of our guys, it's either going to be Jaden Reed or Devontae Howell that's going to bring us the medal. Or, hopefully, it'll be both. That would be amazing. Now, in the NCAA men's 100-meter final on the weekend, Jaden Reed also placed second with a time of 9.82. He just missed first place by, I want to say, 0.10 of a second, but I'm really bad when it comes to timing and decimals. So he got 9.82 in the men's final 100 meter. And Devontae Howell, also from the Cayman Islands, came in fourth with a time of 9.88. Both gentlemen running sub 10 in the men's 100 meter final at the NCAA men's 100 meter final race over the weekend. So that was just absolutely phenomenal running from both young men, and the way they look now, as I said, I have no doubt that they'll bring back some medals in the next Olympic Games. Now, I had to give some love right there to Cayman's athletes because honestly, that is some of the best news to happen so far in 2026. At least for the Cayman Islands. I'm even sitting there and writing these notes out last night, man, I was so emotional about it. I was so proud of these young men, as if they were my children, as if they were my brothers, as if they were my relatives. So it's such a beautiful thing. I know Cayman has come close a couple times to medaling in the Olympics, and we would love to see that happen. And these guys, they might just take it home from the Cayman Islands. So Jaden Reed, Devontae Howell, congrats to you. You have absolutely put the Cayman Islands on the map. All right. We did have technical difficulties this morning, and in saying that, I do have a next guest to bring into the main studio here. If you are used to watching us on YouTube or Facebook, I'm sorry, you're not going to see no faces today, just because we had to move studios because of our technical difficulties. So in saying that, hopefully everything will be on track and running later this afternoon for Talk Today. And then, I'll be back on a stream with you on Thursday morning. But aside from that, I'm going to introduce our next guest, which is going to be from the Rotary Sunset Club, and we're going to be talking about their If I'd Known road safety campaign. So we're going to take a real quick commercial break just so I can bring the guests into the studio here, and then I'll be back with you in 2 minutes.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
The 25th Annual Talent Exposition of the Arts, Hope is Here. Presented by the New Self-Help Foundation, Sunday, June 28th at the Hawkwheel Theatre. Awesome performances by Rico Rolando, Erica Asai, actress Caitlin Tyson, Dequan Smith, UCCI Dance Company, Radiance Dance Studio, Centerpoint Limited, John Gray Kitchen Band, and Starlight Elite Strings, Michelle T, and more. Tickets cost $15 CI prepaid or $20 at the gate, and available from the #1 shoe shop and Winner's Circle Sports. Talent Exposition of the Arts, Hope, hosted by Anika Jefferson and Lloyd Parker. June 28th at the Hawkwheel Theatre. Gates open at 5 p.m. Show starts at 6 p.m. Part proceeds from this event to benefit the Pines Retirement Home.
The Passport and Corporate Services Office is urging all residents to verify the validity of their travel documents and take steps to protect them ahead of the hurricane season, which starts the 1st of June. Residents are advised to check passport expiry date, verify entry requirements for their destination, apply for or renew passports and visas early, and make copies of passports and key documents and store them in waterproof containers. For more information, call 345-649-7678 or email passportandcorporate@gov.ky.
The Buzz with your host, Kathy Miller.
Good morning. Welcome back to The Buzz. I am your host, Kathy Miller. And in this segment, we are talking with Rotary Sunset about their If I'd Known road safety campaign. And I'm welcoming in studio Jennifer Weber. She's the president-elect and founding member of the Rotary Club of Cayman Islands Sunset. So to give you a bit of a background here, I know that you're listening to this on your drive-in this morning, and I want you to think about your drive. And if you're like me and you have any road rage, because my listeners know I do. Now, sometimes there's the car in front of you that didn't want to let you in. Then there's the car that stopped shorter than you expected, or the e-bike that comes flying out of nowhere. The glance down at your phone at the lights. Most of us made it into work just fine, or wherever we're trying to go this morning, but every one of those small moments is where a crash actually happens. So this morning we're talking about road safety and the new local campaign called If I'd Known. And it's built on exactly that idea, that one small habit can change everything. So Good morning, Jennifer. How are you doing? And welcome to The Buzz.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me on. It's so nice to be back in the studio. I'm no stranger to this place, and I have to tell for everybody who's listening that it looks beautiful. There's all these renovations that have taken place, and honestly, I can't wait to come back again. It's so pretty in here. Congratulations to you all.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, but I'm here today to talk about some stuff that we're doing through the Rotary Sunset Club. We're the newest club on island, and we're really excited to be doing this. Like Kathy was saying, there's all kind of road rage and all kind of crazy stuff going on. It just happened to me this morning. People suddenly stop in the middle of the road to chat with their friend on the side of the road.
This is why I get road rage, Jennifer.
This is the unexpected thing where, if you, God forbid, glance away from the road, the car in front of you may stop for no expected reason. And so we all have to be so careful. We say that, but then we know that things happen anyway. So this campaign is to help all of us sort of reset and remember what is important and how we can stay as safe as possible on the roads that we have.
Well, I agree with you. I agree with you there for sure. And sometimes I have to reel it in myself and be like, okay, don't have a reaction right now, Kathy.
Right?
Don't have a reaction.
And I mean, let's face it, let's put it this way. It's not unusual for us to feel like, yes, everyone else should be doing that, but I could take a quick look at my phone, or I could do this or that, or it's just one little thing. But we have to remember all of these rules apply to all of us. I'm just as guilty as anybody else. I go, I have a problem with my contact and I'm still driving with one eye. Or
that's very much a likelihood for me.
Yeah, me too. And, yes. These things happen. And as long as things are going as usual or as normal, we feel like it's okay. And it is. But we can't guarantee normal. Right. With everybody else's driving, right? Anything can happen. Yeah. And so this campaign, there's 4 different parts to it, and we hope it's going to not replace what the Cayman government and so many other good organizations are doing, but complement what is happening and just remind us all about 4 things we can do to be a little safer on the road.
Right. Well, before we go into the 4 things, let's just start with the name of this road safety campaign.
Sure.
If I'd known. It's a bit of an unusual name. So if you can walk us through the idea behind it and what is Rotary Cayman Sunset's road safety campaign really about?
Yeah, so it's the idea is, if I'd known this one small habit could change the outcome and keep us safer, it's something that I would have done. And so it's something like, if I had known people couldn't see me without my headlights on, I'd have clicked my headlights on. If I'd have known that the wet roads impact the amount of time I need to stop on the road, the stopping time, and it actually doubles the stopping time, I'd have left a little bit more room. If I had known that one glance at my phone was enough to cause an accident, etc. It's like smart versus reckless, slow down, and just be careful on the road. These are all the things that we wanted everyone to be aware of. And there are 4 different pieces to the campaign, which we want to make sure everybody understands, because even like when we would get to our Rotary meetings are Wednesday nights from 6:30 to 7:30. And they're at Locale, which is on West Bay Road. Or actually, it's at Bonfire Restaurant inside Locale on West Bay Road, kind of across from Simboco. And it never fails. One of us gets there and goes, oh my gosh, this almost happened. This traffic is insane, right? And because we finish at 7:30, it's dark by the time we're back on the road. And so that night, somebody is always messaging saying, I was driving and there was a car that didn't have its headlights on. And I don't know what it is about that. I feel like that didn't used to happen, but now people just drive with their headlights off. Maybe I don't know what new cars, I never have a new car, but maybe new cars don't have the auto setting, or maybe people intentionally turn them onto non-auto. But so many cars.
I'm finding it with older cars. I'm seeing it with more older models.
Okay.
People aren't. They don't have their headlights on. And this is on main roads, like
Yes.
Walker's Road, for example,
Yes.
West Bay Road.
I drive on Walker's Road.
First of all, how do you see the road or what's in front of you?
Right.
When it's dark and you don't have your headlights on. I'm
Right.
confused. I can barely see 3 feet in front of me with my contacts in, all the lights on possible.
Right. and like a white stick out in front of your bumper, like
Yes,
tap, tap,
yes.
tapping, right? But still, it's crazy. And so there are so many little things that we can do to help ourselves. And, nothing is going to guarantee that no one ever has an accident again. But these little things hopefully will help everybody stay a little bit safer. And these reminders hopefully will have more people turning their lights on and making it so that we can see them and so that they can see people on the road and many other things.
So let's get into the 4 habits, as you mentioned. So the campaign focuses on 4 habits, which is lights on, leave space, phone down, and drive defensively. Can you walk us through them and why these 4 habits that the road safety campaign is focusing on?
Yeah, again, they're things that we all, as Rotarians, just kind of notice. Rotarians are just sort of a cross section of people in the community. It's a lot of different people. In our case, our club is about 25 members, and like I said, our meeting starts after work. We usually start arriving around 6. The meeting starts promptly at 6:30, ends at 7:30, and so it's just at that time when it's starting to get dark, and we all arrive complaining about some aspect of the road. So we decided, well, you know what? Let's make a list of these things and see if we should, if there's something that we can do to help. And as Rotarians, that's what we're supposed to be doing, right? Rotary is about service to the community, and if there's something we can do, we should. So yeah, the first message is basically called Seen, that we focus on headlights and visibility awareness. So headlights are about being seen, not just to see. So the message is, if I'd known I was invisible without my lights, I would have had my lights on, been seen, and stayed safe. And, you mentioned a couple of examples. One more that just popped into my mind is people who happen to be walking on the side of the road. Somehow it seems like they're always wearing black clothes. And it's at night, and not only can we not see them, they can't see us. And so maybe they can hear the road, but they can hear our cars on the road, but because maybe they have headphones in and stuff like that, unless we have those lights on, it's really hard. So that's another aspect of it that we have to keep in mind.
There's also something, I see people often with their lights off, and I will flick my lights,
Yes.
which we know can mean police are ahead. One thing that there's, at least where I come from, that's what it means. But the second thing, hey, your lights aren't on. Maybe you forgot to turn. Sometimes people just flick back.
Right.
So they know their lights aren't on. And I'm like, but hold on now. I didn't flick to say hi. I flicked to let you know that your lights are
Yeah, isn't that the truth? There's all kinds of things that I know, from where I've come from, flicking your lights means this, or toot toot on your horn means that, or whatever. But people who come from all over the world to Cayman come with their own idea of what these signs and signals mean. And you're right. They'll be, oh yeah, thanks, beep beep, oh hi, you're my friend. No, flick flick flick. No, that doesn't mean police are ahead. What that means to me is, hey, pay attention to your lights. But it's hard to signal those kinds of things and remind other people. And sometimes you're driving behind people and you see that they don't have their lights on. Mm-hmm. And the whole time, if you're like flicking your lights or trying to get their attention, they act like you're stalking them, and you're making them nervous or whatever, but you just can't find a way to communicate it.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
The second message is called Leave Room, and that's focused on tailgating and following distance. So not just in the rain, we all have to leave enough space to react, because, anything can happen. If I'd known I needed more space, the idea is leave space, give time, save lives. So, I happen to live off of Walker's Road, across the street from Cayman Prep High School. And every now and then, a ball, like a basketball or a soccer ball or, football, comes across the road, and suddenly there's a ball. And obviously nobody expects that. And so those are the kinds of things that if you haven't left more than 2 inches of space, and a ball comes flinging by, you might not have enough time to react. You might get distracted by seeing that ball and run into the car in front of you. And when we're all in that bumper to bumper traffic, in the morning or in the evening, you feel like if you leave too much space, then 20 cars are going to come in between you.
Right.
And so you tend to leave less space, but we have to leave enough to stay safe so that we have time to react. Do you want to hear
what is enough space?
Yeah, enough space is how many car lengths it takes in order for you to stop. So if it's raining, or if, especially if you're on a roundabout, I don't know if people have heard about this, but the roundabouts are particularly slick when it's raining.
Yeah.
And
some more so than others, which is interesting.
Yeah, it is. And other things that we can't necessarily account for or know about, like, when our cars are stopped on the road, just idling, or we're inching along at 1 mile an hour. Sometimes if you have an older car and it's leaking oil and you end up having oil on the road, if that's the place where you're trying to stop and the road is oily, and then the rain comes down, it's extra slick. And if your tires can't grip the road, it doesn't matter how new your car is or how fancy it is, those brakes can't make those wheels stop if they're sliding on slick, wet oil. Yeah. So we need to leave extra space. So, if it's 1 car length, when it's not raining, you better make sure it's 2 car lengths. And depending on your speed, if it's 2 car lengths, then you got to leave 4 car lengths if it's raining, because you have to have enough time to react and stop. And, we'd like to think that everything goes exactly as we planned, but it doesn't. And I think in Cayman, a lot of people are boaters as well. Mm-hmm. And so darn well that if you see a jet ski in front of you, you can't just suddenly hit the brakes on a boat, right? You're gonna glide forward. There's no way to avoid that. So you have to think about that when you're on the road as well. Yes, you have brakes, but there is some amount of time it takes to stop if you're going to continue going straight. And sometimes you can veer left or right and sort of steer around it like you could on a boat, but not always.
Right.
Our roads can be narrow without a berm on the side of the road, not always multiple lanes, and sometimes there are obstacles. There's
or people,
telephone poles, people, or other cars there. And so just another reminder to be careful about that. Leave room.
Okay. Now, the next one was about your phone.
Yes, and phone down is what it's called. And this is true confession time here. The president of our club, Susie Bodden, who is the one who was responsible for really being adamant about having this campaign, happened to see me on the road.
Oh no, you're
doing something related to not having my phone down.
That's okay. I tailgate like crazy.
And so, true confession here, when she saw that, she called me, not at that moment because we were on the road, but when she got off the road and I was off the road, she was like, Jen, I cannot believe what I saw. And so, honestly, I feel like this is actually specifically for me, and so I'm very sorry, and I'm ashamed to admit, but I did look at my phone. Nothing happened, which probably made it worse because then it made me feel invincible. But this is about putting our phone down and staying focused on the road and not letting our mobile phone distract us. So a quick glance at the phone seems like it could be harmless, but it's really all it takes for an accident to happen. So this part of the message is, if I'd known a second is all it takes, is related to that. Phone down, eyes up, stay alive.
There's also, and I found out this feature when I was dating a guy, okay? He, I think he'd come by my house and I'd missed him and I'd called him back.
Yeah.
And I was like, but you just left my house. It hasn't even been a minute. And he had a feature where when he's driving his car, his phone doesn't come on at all. Oh. And it was an iPhone, and your iPhone has a setting where it's almost like a do not disturb while driving setting. And that was the first time I realized that. And so he's like, I had the feature on my phone, so I can't access my phone at all when I'm driving. And I just was like, what kind of a lie is that? It was,
what sort of foolishness? Everybody knows. Yeah.
But it's true.
That is.
And he showed me the feature. So that is one tip. If you know that you are guilty of grabbing your phone or looking at it often when you're driving or trying to change a song, anything like that.
Yes.
You can use that feature where you actually can access your phone while driving. That might be for newer cars as well. I'm not entirely sure if it's going to work with older vehicles, but that's at least one way you can try to change the bad habit.
It absolutely is. And I'll tell you, people sometimes tease me. They're like, what is with your messages? You can't spell and you say bye in a WhatsApp message. And I always say, oh, you could always tell if I'm driving, doing voice to text, you know, because then you have both hands on the wheel. You don't have to touch your phone. You could do voice to text messages. But somehow if I'm speaking, I automatically say at the end, okay, thanks, bye.
Oh,
Or talk to you later, bye. Or if you say Cayman, it comes out with a capital letter K space MAN.
Yes.
And they're like, how long you lived here? And but it's because it's doing voice to text.
Yes.
And so I promise that's not necessarily a bad thing, and it doesn't mean I can't spell. It just means that I have both hands on the wheel. I am trying to pay attention to the road, and I am doing voice to text automatically or voice notes.
Now, there's one more, which is the drive defensively.
Right, and it's the expect the unexpected. We have to stay focused, a defensive driving and attention, and that makes it sound combative. And it's not like that. We just have to stay focused because really anything can happen. We already talked about a few examples. You know, a child darts out on the road, or a ball suddenly rolls, or something happens, a car in front of you unexpectedly stops because for whatever reason. So you just have to always be in a position where you are expecting the unexpected. So crashes happen when drivers assume others will act correctly or expect accordingly. And so road conditions can change in an instant. If I'd known that I was around what was around the corner, I would have been more careful, and good drivers stay ready is the sort of tagline for that. So all of these messages are going to be on Instagram and Facebook, and they're nice little videos, and we're running them and asking actually the politicians, all of the MPs, if they will boost this. You know, this isn't something that we're profiting from. This is something that cost us money, and thankfully we've teamed up with Tower Marketing, who has helped us and done a wonderful job preparing all of these things for us and making the videos. And so this is something that we just want everyone to see, pay attention to, and hopefully share. It would be great if everybody in Cayman started saying, oh, I'm so annoyed, I'm sick and tired of seeing those messages. If you as an individual or as a business or as an organization or a nonprofit or a club see these messages, please go ahead and forward. You don't need our permission. We want you to do this, and we want everyone to pay attention to these. And, you know, if you see your friend on the road and they have their phone, you can say, phone down, eyes up, stay alive. I'm sure that's what I'm going to hear from any of my fellow Rotary Club members if they ever see me on the road again, even if I'm stopped.
But you're going to be breaking that bad habit.
Yes, even if that was always my thing, right? I would be like, well, I was stopped in traffic. And, you know, I have this thing where I feel efficient if I'm doing two things at once.
Right. We're women.
Right?
Yes.
Right. So, you know, I'm washing dishes with my feet. I'm doing laundry with one hand. I'm texting in the other. I'm shopping online. All of these things all at once. And I feel efficient, but that's really not true. And so even if I'm stopped, I have to make sure that I don't get started, because sure enough, you don't know when the traffic is going to start, and you might, you know, start rolling when you,
or it might be a stop-start kind of a situation, right?
And so yes,
and
these are all things, especially me. And if you see me on the road doing these things, feel free to beep your horn and wag your finger at me.
Send her a video.
Oh,
everybody.
don't do that. No, don't take a video.
We got to go to a commercial break right now, but when we come back, we're going to get into a little bit more detail about the campaign.
Thank you.
I'm Michael Webster.
And I'm Denise Brown of Cayman Insurance Center.
Family is not the most important thing, it's everything.
We have worked with the community and their families on protecting themselves for the future.
Whether it's providing top-rated life insurance
or protecting your family's household investment.
From our family to yours, we understand and we care.
I'm Denise Brown. Call me at 814-7229.
And I'm Michael Webster at 925-5433.
We are Cayman Insurance Center,
specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services at an affordable rate. We are Michael and
Denise at Cayman Insurance Center.
Call today.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
This is Raymond Scott wishing Radio Cayman a very happy and successful 50th anniversary. As I recall, I was the first reporter for weather reports from Cayman Brac, phoning in to Lomax Rankin in the early hours of the morning, giving the weather update in Cayman Brac and Little Cayman, and I had numerous opportunities. Thank you, Radio Cayman, for all you have done and provided this service for us all of these years.
The Buzz with your host, Kathy Miller.
Good morning and welcome back to The Buzz. We are talking about the If I'd Known Road Safety Campaign with Rotary Sunset. And in studio with me, I have Jennifer Weber. She's the president-elect and founding member of the Rotary Club of the Cayman Islands, Sunset. I just want to plug the Sunset group because I'm really glad that there's a Sunset group. I'm not a sunrise person, although the show will make you think that I am not. So I appreciate the Sunset group and knowing that it's a newer group with the Rotary Club. I'm sure you're going to have a lot of people that are interested to join.
That's right. That's one nice thing. Sometimes people ask about Rotary. Sometimes people ask about Rotary and they're like, why are there so many? Well, the reason is because there's a Rotary Club for everyone. So some people are early birds. They like to start their meetings at 7 a.m.
Don't even talk to me.
I'm not one of those people.
No.
Other people feel like, you know what, lunch is the perfect time for me. And that's the time where I like to take a break from, the work day and go out and get lunch and do all those things. Other people feel like, I barely get to get lunch anyway, and so time is too tight, and so it's better for me if I do it in the evening around dinner time. And then there are other people like me, who our Rotary Club is a little bit different because not only do we meet at night from 6:30 to 7:30, our club meets only half as much as the rest of the clubs. And honestly, can I just say...
Even lovelier.
Yes. Can I just say that I find that we are particularly appealing to women. Because I find other women say things like I normally say, like, less meetings, more doing. Mm-hmm. And that isn't to say that the other clubs aren't doing a ton of stuff. They are. Mm-hmm. But in our club, as a small new club, we only meet the second and fourth Wednesday of the month. So 2 meetings a month for an hour each. That feels pretty doable, right?
That's very doable, yeah.
And it's super fun. Honestly, the first time I went to a Rotary meeting here, I felt like, why have I not been doing this all my life? A lot of people know me and know that I used to work at the Cancer Society. Yeah. If I could go back 30 years and do it all again, I would have been a Rotary Club member 30 years ago and gotten a job that would have paid me a decent salary for my life. But this is this being a Rotarian.
Hindsight is 2020 there,
Yes.
Jennifer. I want to go into a
Sure.
comment that we got via WhatsApp this morning.
Sure.
And with the comment, it says, good morning. What I always see with drivers is they don't use their indicators at all when making a turn or put it on at least a quarter mile before making the turn. Stay in the lane that takes you to where you are going. I leave space behind a car when I can see the back tires at all times, driving or stopping. Now, I absolutely agree with what this listener has said in the fact that some people put on their signal light at least a quarter mile before making a turn or not at all, one of the two. Sometimes I'm at fault or not at all. I think the rule of thumb that I learned, and it might be different for people coming from different places, but you put on your signal light when you see that kind of last maybe light pole before that turn comes.
Ah, okay. Yeah.
So it's close to the turn, but it's not a full block away from the turn. It's not a half a block, about a light pole away. So you have enough time, that person's turning. Not are they turning 3 blocks away from now. That's the important thing right there.
Yeah, and I think also that a lot of times because you're signaling on a roundabout, for example, you're not making a full 90-degree turn.
Yeah.
And so if you've put your indicator on and you make that turn, which isn't really 90 degrees, your indicator stays on, and then you end up driving along the bypass with your indicator on.
And you can hear it most times, yeah.
Yes. And so, there's a lot of things we all need to do, including that the person who sent that WhatsApp is 100% correct. And I like what you said about it's one light pole before. I remember I was taught that you shouldn't put it on because it will cause confusion. So you shouldn't put it on until there is only one more turn. Like if there are 5 left turns ahead of you, don't put your turn signal on because they're going to think that you're going to be turning left the next chance you get.
Exact, not 5 blocks later. Yeah,
right.
Or 5
and so you
later,
have to turn it on right before you are making that turn. And also, I think that people get confused about which indicator to turn on, if that makes any sense. I know that, to me, sometimes I feel like, especially when I first got here, if I'm going straight through a roundabout, it feels like, oh, I'm staying on this road. I'm going straight. I'm not exiting, if that makes sense. If I'm getting off this road, then that's an exit. But if I'm going straight through, I don't need to indicate. And so there's a lot of different things that people bring to the island. And I know when...
habits, a lot of interesting habits. And which is what we're talking about learning how to break some of the bad habits, implement some good habits. And just recently, actually, at the end of April 2026 here, the RCIPS 2025 Crime and Traffic Statistics Report was released. Now, some of the data coming from there, it shows that there's fewer deaths that have happened, and it shows that total collisions rose 5% last year. So 5% last year with total collisions rising, although there's been fewer deaths. There has been 3,408 crashes with 27 people seriously hurt and more than 300 people with minor injuries.
Wow.
So not fatalities, but minor injuries, over 300 people. What does that tell you about the kind of driving habit your campaign is trying to change?
Yeah. So...
because that's not necessarily speeding or drunk driving.
Right. And I think it's exactly this campaign specifically addresses those things, because it's not that people are being intentionally reckless. They're being a little careless. And, the purpose of this campaign is not to be preachy or to wag a finger at people and, make them feel bad. It's just to remind everybody that every little decision makes a difference. And whether it is a fatality on the road, God forbid, or if it's just a fender bender, that impacts everybody. Not only in slowing the roads down when we have traffic jams, but, the more accidents as a community we have, the higher our insurance rates go.
Yeah.
Right? And the more difficulty we have if our car's in the shop getting fixed, even if it's just a little fender bender. If our car's in the shop, that inconveniences our entire family, and everybody has to figure out how to share the car. You have to ask your coworker to pick you up, or you have to rent a car. These are unnecessary expenses to ourselves and more inconveniences to ourselves and to the community that also impact our wallet, because we end up having to pay higher rates. So if we just all make these simple little decisions to be a little more careful, a little more mindful about the things that we're doing on the road, we can make a big difference and help ourselves, our family, and our community stay more safe.
Now, I got 2 final questions for you because we're almost coming up to 9 a.m. But this campaign positions itself as supporting the government's national road safety strategy, the Road to Zero, which has a plan to end road deaths by 2038.
Right.
So how does Rotary Sunset's If I'd Known campaign align with government's road safety campaign?
Yeah, so what we're doing is we're just trying to complement what they're doing. They're focusing on deaths and speeding and drunk driving and all those things, which are incredibly important. And so we're not doing something that is, we're not repeating the same message in a different way. We are doing something that complements that, so that all of these campaigns that are happening at the same time are focusing on a different area and of road safety and making sure that people stay safe and make good decisions in a variety of situations. Ours is more, is very shareable. It's a softer message. It's not preachy at all. It's just a gentle reminder that when we do these simple things, we can stay safer for ourselves and for our families.
Now, final question for you, Jennifer. If there's one thing that you would want people to take away from this campaign, or one habit, bad habit, that they could focus on changing, what would that be?
Well, they're all important, that's for sure. I guess the guilt in me is saying it's the phone down part, right? Because, like I said, I admit it, I've done it before myself. Even if I'm at a stoplight, even if I'm stopped in traffic, I shouldn't be on my phone typing messages, reading messages, etc. And so for me, that's the one that I have to remember the most. I tend to not have a problem turning my lights on. I have that auto setting.
Yeah, me too.
And so my lights come on automatically. I'm not a tailgater necessarily. And
I am if you've irritated me on the road. I'm gonna tail you and make you feel, which is terrible, but
Tuesday morning true confessions. Here we are.
Yes, we are confessing our driving
buzz.
sins.
But I think everyone should just take all these messages, and maybe if there's something that speaks to you that you're like, oh, I'm kind of guilty of that, maybe this is the time to think about that a little bit more and try to implement that. And again, remember to share these messages. If you see them from your MP, or you see them from Rotary Sunset, or you see them from a friend on WhatsApp, Instagram, or Facebook, please be sure to share them. And not in a, hey, I saw you on the road, look what you did. Let's just remind each other to stay as safe as we can, so that we can all make it home safe to our families and not have to incur those extra expenses of getting repairs.
All right. Wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing the information. And then if I'd known road safety campaign that Rotary Sunset is all behind, it was really good to have you in studio.
Thank you so much. In a minute. Yes, it's been a little while.
Looking forward to having you back.
Thank you so much for having us. We appreciate it. Be sure to share this message.
Will do. We got to go to the 9 a.m. headline news, and then I will be back right after the 9 a.m. headline news and a little commercial break. All right.
Information, entertainment, inspiration.
Covering Grand Cayman, Little Cayman, Cayman Brac.
Since 1976 till now.
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.
From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines. Local, regional, international news.
The Headline News is brought to you by Kirk Market and Health Services Authority.
MPs are heading to the House this week for the official state opening and first meeting of the 2026-27 session of Parliament on Friday. The ceremony is scheduled to start at 2 p.m. Make sure to tune into our sister station, Breeze 105.3 FM, to hear the proceedings live. In international news, U.S. President Donald Trump says as part of the U.S.'s deal to end the war, Iran will, quote, never have a nuclear weapon. Speaking at the G7 summit in France, the U.S. president also has renewed criticism of Israel's strikes in Lebanon, saying, quote, you don't have to knock down an apartment house every time you're looking for somebody. Pakistan, a key mediator, announced on Sunday that the U.S. and Iran had reached an agreement, but its contents are yet to be shared. On Monday, the Trump administration said the deal had already been signed electronically by both sides, with a formal signing ceremony due to take place in Geneva, Switzerland later this week. Also at the G7 summit, UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer said his country will play its, quote, full part in getting the Strait of Hormuz open. And police in Poland are investigating the execution-style murder of a Russian artist and vocal critic of President Vladimir Putin. Polish prosecutors said Robert K., known as the artist Szymon Skrzypewski, was shot dead this morning. The 44-year-old was shot 5 times in the head, chest, and back in a car park. The pseudonym was used by Robert Kuzovkov. He was known for his caricatures of politicians, including Vladimir Putin and the leader of Belarus and Chechnya. A spokesman for the district prosecutor's office said the artist was approached by an unidentified gunman who fired shots at him. Those are your headlines. I'm Carsley Fuller.
More news available at www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News.
Your Cayman Islands Health Services Authority has been the national healthcare provider of the Cayman Islands for many generations. We have elevated our level of care to ensure you, our patients, have the best possible experience. We offer better access to care close to home with the most locations on all 3 islands, delivering a full range of primary, secondary, tertiary, and emergency care. HSA is a JCI accredited organization, and we are committed to caring for you.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
The Buzz with your host, Kathy Miller.
All right. Good morning. Welcome back to The Buzz. I'm your host, Kathy Miller. And in this segment, we are shining a spotlight on excellency, oracy, and the bright future of Cayman's youth, especially when it comes to public speaking. So in studio with me this morning, we have ESU Cayman, the organization behind our national public speaking competition. And we also have the 2026 national champion for the Cayman Islands, who will be representing us on the world stage in London. So let's welcome Sean Ilul, co-chair of the ESU Cayman, and Janelle Cohoon. She's the winner of the public speaking competition that was put on, was it not the Sunday we just had, but the Sunday before, I think it was. Good morning. How are you doing today? Welcome to The Buzz.
Good morning. It's good to be here.
Good to have you back. Yes, yes. And Janelle, good morning to you, our national winner here for the speaking competition.
Good morning. I'm so excited.
How does it feel to be a winner?
Honestly, it has been a wave of all kinds of emotions, excitement, nervousness, thrill, and honestly, like, gratitude.
Excellent.
Yep.
Well, I'm going to hear a whole lot about your experience, but I'm just going to ask Sean to give us a bit of a background, just give us some information about ESU Cayman. I know it's the first chapter in the Caribbean, so a little bit of background and what this speaking competition was about.
Awesome. So we effectively opened the first branch of the ESU in the Caribbean, which is very exciting. This year was a pilot year. We had over 30 participants come for a boot camp that trained young people to prepare for giving both impromptu public speaking speeches and prepared speeches. And I think it was a very successful pilot edition. So we had fantastic participants. The speeches were extremely engaging. We'll be rolling out media related to the final speeches as well. We had a fantastic team of judges coming from all walks of life and all levels of expertise in the private and the public sector. And I think we did a really good job, and I think the participants did an even more fantastic job at displaying their ability to speak. So I'm super excited.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Now, I know that ESU is the English-speaking union, and there's around 100,000 students globally that are part of this organization. Can you just narrow down the ages that the ESU focuses on?
Totally. So it's 16 to 20-year-olds, and the national chapters, there's 51 of them. We're the 51st, spread around the world, that run a national public speaking competition and send their champions to London to compete in the International Public Speaking Championships. And it's going to be Cayman's first year participating in that global event, and we're really excited.
Which is very exciting, which is awesome.
100%.
And you are a former winner for your country, Malta,
Yes,
right?
I am, in 2017.
So you're a good mentor, at least, to be able to guide Janelle in her experience when she goes to London.
I try to be.
Excellent. Okay, so let's get into the competition day. So it happened on Sunday, I don't know the date. Do you remember the date? 2 Sundays ago. We're going to go with just 2 Sundays ago.
2 Sundays ago.
We'll go with that. I think it was June 7th. That's what I'm going to pretend it was.
It was the roller coaster of organizing the events.
I was like, the 8th was a Monday.
Yeah,
That's what I have in my mind, yeah. So how did the competition take place? What was the format of it?
That's a good question. So For us, it started on Friday with deep orientations for the judges. Then Saturday was a full-on boot camp with all the participants, preparing them for the event. Sunday then was fully focused on showcasing the local talent we have here. And it started with prepared speeches, where young people gave a speech between 4 minutes 30 seconds to around 5 minutes 30 seconds. That was followed with a Q&A. And that was then followed by an impromptu round where every single participant moved to a second round in a seated phase, where they had to give about a 3-minute speech about a topic they pulled out of a hat and had about 50 minutes to prepare in. Then that moved on to the grand final, where we had an expert team of judges and 3 finalists that competed for the national crown. And that's where we crowned our champion.
Okay, awesome. How many students did we have coming out for the competition?
In total, 36. And that included participants from Grand Cayman and from the BRAC.
Okay, excellent. I love that. 36, because I remember when you came in, we were speaking about it about maybe a week or so before the competition was going to take place. I can't remember what the numbers were, but I know that you had room to bring in more.
We did.
So did you hit your capacity or the numbers that you wanted to see?
Our plan was 30 for the first year, so we did go over capacity,
Awesome.
but we made room as much as we could.
Yeah.
And then there were a few people that applied that were under the age bracket that we gave a volunteering opportunity to instead. So they took part in the boot camp and then became young volunteers with ESU. So our timekeeper for the grand finals was 14, sitting right next to the governor, taking care of the administration of the event. And I think that was super cool.
That is because it's somewhat like kind of grandfathering them in, per se. Like they're going to learn the things to do and what's ahead of them. And they're going to pick up a lot of the tips they're going to learn just by being somebody in the room in proximity to those who are actually going through the competition and preparing the speeches and going through the training and whatnot. So
Definitely.
I love that. It doesn't isolate them or shut them out.
For being early and eager, I think it's important to open as many doors as possible and to test how much responsibility they're capable of taking. And they'll surprise you if they're given the chance.
Well, especially when it's something that young people are interested in. And if they're interested in, why would we ever turn people away? That's my thing, is they're showing interest. You know, try to keep them engaged however you can. So I love the fact that you didn't turn away the 6 people over the 30 that you were looking to hit there. I think that's awesome. All right, now to Nell, I'm going to turn to you. I want to know how you first heard about ESU, how you first got involved.
Okay, so this is actually an interesting story because I was out one night and there was actually one of my friends who was talking about it. Oh, you can go to London, whatever. I was like, what are you even talking about?
You just heard trip and were like, what can I do?
No, that's actually not it. But it was actually when I got home that same night, I got a text message from Miss Donna Bush, and she actually was the one who allowed me to understand more about what the competition was like and what the opportunity actually was in its totality. And because of that, I enrolled the next day. I signed up the next day because I understood fully what a great opportunity it was.
Now, do you like public speaking? Did you find yourself just as a student in school always raising your hand and volunteering to read whatever you had to read out loud? That was me. So
yes, I'd say that I am a lover of public speaking. I was the head girl at Clifton Hunter, so that came with a lot of public speaking responsibilities, but also I am a past youth parliamentarian for 4 years.
Oh, wow.
And I've served as the premier and leader of opposition, so public speaking is definitely something that I enjoy, and I was very grateful to use this opportunity to help build and hone my public speaking skills. So it was truly, truly amazing.
I think coming off as well as a youth parliamentarian is a huge advantage to you going into this competition, because for 4 years, and you've held some of the biggest roles you can hold as a youth parliamentarian, you're kind of thrown in the deep end, per se, right then and there. And it's not easy. These aren't easy subjects that you're talking about.
No, not at all.
These are national issues that you as a youth have to look and tackle and figure out, how do I address a parliament of my peers?
For sure. It was definitely, going into it, I definitely used most of the skills that I learned in youth parliament to help enhance my presentation on the day, and ensuring that everything that I've learned is definitely put out there.
Gotcha. Now, are you also an avid reader and writer by chance?
Avid, I wouldn't say avid, but I do definitely enjoy the process of learning. I am always intrigued to know more, and being a youth parliamentarian, one of my favorite reads is politics, anything that is to do with legislation and the climate of the current situation that's going on in Cayman, especially as it regards to politics and anything in that regard. I do really, really, really enjoy it. And above all, I love to read the Bible, and I feel like the Bible is a wealth of knowledge, so there's also that.
It is. It absolutely is. So many of our laws are based on the Bible, right? Yes. It's so interesting hearing somebody of your age, between 16 and 20. I'm not going to ask you your age, but you got to be around in between that bracket right there. And to hear about your experience as a youth parliamentarian, but especially so much your interest in politics. Yes. And I say this because so many students around your age, or youth around your age, even older, I'm going to say up to their mid-30s, have zero interest in politics. When I go around and ask peers, friends, or acquaintances, people on my social media, I want to get their perspective on something. And it's, some people will entertain me and give me a bit of a dialogue. Mm-hmm. But a lot of the time it's, I'm not interested. I don't care about this at all. I don't care. And I'm just kind of dumbfounded by the disinterest people have in how the country's run. True. So I think you being a young person with that interest behind you and that experience behind you, I think that's amazing. And I hope it'll be of great influence to your peers, people your age, to get more involved with their country and what's going on. Because the more you understand from a younger age, the way further ahead of the curve than the rest of us you'll be. And that's a beautiful advantage to have. Yes. So don't let anybody at any time be like, man, she's just into this boring stuff over here. It's not boring at all. Once you realize how the world kind of works. Yeah, it's so true. We're going to take a real quick commercial break, and then we're going to go into the elements of the competition, how you prepared, what your speeches were on, the judging process and whatnot. Okay?
Thank you.
I'm Michael Webster.
And I'm Denise Brown of Cayman Insurance Center.
Family is not the most important thing, it's everything.
We have worked with the community and their families on protecting themselves for the future.
Whether it's providing top-rated life insurance
or protecting your family's household investment.
From our family to yours, we understand and we care.
I'm Denise Brown. Call me at 814-7229.
And I'm Michael Webster at 925-5433.
We are Cayman Insurance Center.
Specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services at an affordable rate. We are Michael and
Denise at Cayman Insurance Center.
Call today.
The Lions Club of Grand Cayman is proud to continue to serve our island community. The club continues to host successful community projects like the Prostate and Colon Cancer Awareness Campaign, free site screening in schools, spelling bee, swim meets, and their community pantry. The Lions Club of Grand Cayman looks forward to continuing their service for many years to come. The Lions Club of Grand Cayman, where there's a need, there's a lion, serving the community for over 50 years.
The countdown is on. Join us on Saturday, 11th July, 7 p.m. at the historic Pedro St. James for an unforgettable evening under the theme Starlit Shores. Watch 6 outstanding young Caymanian women take the stage as they compete for the prestigious title of Miss Universe Cayman Islands 2026. Experience an evening filled with elegance, confidence, culture, entertainment, and inspiration. Tickets are available now on Ticket Plus and at Funky Monkey. Join us as we enter a new era.
The Buzz with your host, Kathy Miller.
Good morning. Welcome back to The Buzz. We are talking about the ESU Cayman chapter, which is the 51st chapter. It's the English-speaking union, and they just began the Caribbean chapter, the first one in the Caribbean, which happens to be in the Cayman Islands in the last year. It hasn't even been a year since ESU has been formed. So I have co-founder Sean Ilil in studio with me, and as well I have the winner of the national speaking competition, Janelle Cohoon. And Janelle was telling us a little bit about her experience as a youth parliamentarian, how she got involved with the ESU, and that she's not at all really afraid of public speaking because she did it for 4 years as a youth parliamentarian. So in saying that, I want to know when it comes to speeches, how you prepare to write speeches.
Okay, so for me, the speech preparation was different than what I'm used to. For example, in youth parliament. This speech preparation started with a major brainstorm. So I just got the theme and I thought about it for a very, very long time.
What was the theme again?
The power to question is the basis of all human progress.
Yes, okay.
And yeah, I thought about that theme, and from there, that thinking, processing, researching in some regard, I then began to put my argument together, which my thought process was kind of challenging the quote and taking it from a different perspective, questioning the question essentially. Is questions really the basis of all human progress, or is it action? So that was the perspective that I took it from. And from there, it was just drafting speeches. I actually did 7 drafts of my speech before my final competition speech was ready. And yeah, I'd say that would pretty much sums up the total process of the preparation.
And I think that's a very realistic way of looking how speeches are prepared. You said 7 drafts.
Yes.
It's rarely done on a first-time draft. It's rarely that you'll see a speaker out there that can just wing it in an excellent way. I think there's a few out there. I can remember former President Obama, I think, is a great orator. Somebody who could absolutely get up there and just speak without necessarily being prepared. But preparation is key.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I concur.
So seven drafts is a lot. And your speech had to be how long was it?
Between 4-minute 30 and 5-minute 30 seconds.
And a lot of time when we're writing, we might write a couple minutes more than we...
Oh, yeah.
So how did you go through that process and having to shave down and make sure your speech did fall between the time? Because if it went over, I'm sure you were penalized.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. Well, it was a lot of back and forth. I would write my speech and then I'd say it out loud. I'd time myself and then it'd be like, oh my goodness, this is way too long. So I'd like highlight parts that, okay, maybe I don't have to say this, or maybe I could put this in to shorten it. And it was really just that back and forth until even what I actually spoke, what I speeched, if we want to say, what I spoke on, or what I presented on the competition day was not necessarily word for word what I had written. And I think it was inevitably better that way because I was still within the time, but I still got to say everything that I wanted to.
Did you try to memorize your speech?
I did. I memorized my speech.
And is it normal to do that, or do people have their speaking notes with them?
Yes. So for me, it was, that was my challenge, if I'm going to be honest, because I am used to the parliament style, which is where you have the paper, you have your notes, you can easily read off your speech, but this one was full memory. And for me, I found that having the note card in my hand was not necessarily something that was benefiting me that much, even though I did use it as a crutch most of the time, but it wasn't benefiting me that much as it could possibly have. So I found that memorizing my speech in its entirety and knowing it from the top of my head and just being overall knowledgeable on the topic was the most beneficial for me.
I like that. Yeah. And that's way more so my style as well. I cannot stand to be the person walking around with a bunch of notes in their hands on stage, at an event, whatever it might be. I'm going to memorize the key things I'm supposed to memorize, because why can't I memorize the sponsors, for example? Something like that. So, I mean, it makes a difference being in the audience and watching an event take place and, seeing that the host of an event and trying to engage people and whatnot. It totally makes a difference, because not having the notes in your hand or a note card or anything like that, it allows you to use your body in ways to also connect with the audience. So did you learn, when you were preparing to give the speech, did you also learn how to kind of walk that stage, how to connect with your audience using body language?
Yes, I did. I practiced it many times in front of the mirror. I practiced it for my parents, and they gave me pointers as well. But I feel like it's always going into a nerve-wracking situation like that, it's always different from what you practiced it to be. Like, your performance is always different. So I do think that going into the international competition, my performance, my presentation is something that I could definitely work on. But yes, I did definitely practice pacing, my hand gestures, what I would do with specific points when I want to bring them across, what type of intonation I would use in my voice, if I need to project more, or if I need to be quieter, if I need to pause, and those type of stylistic choices. I definitely did practice those before the competition day.
Okay, and I can hear it coming through. Sean, as somebody who's on the outside and seeing what these students are doing and understanding a judging process, what are the judges looking for, and how did Janelle stand out?
I'll start by saying it was really close on every single round, and we were over time at going into the finals because the speakers, there was one room where there was a 0.2, like 0.2, like difference between speakers, which is extremely narrow. So the quality was there. Every speaker is different, and also every judge has their own unique things that they're looking for. For example, some of our judges who are top litigators at law firms are more keen to listen to reasoning and argumentation as opposed to specific kinds of delivery. Whereas we then have other judges who would score higher for your intonation, your use of nonverbal cues, and the way in which you can project your voice and capture the room's attention. The main scoring is 35 points for the way in which you use your voice as an orator, 35 points dedicated to your argumentation and your use of language, and 15 points for listening. So that comes out in the Q&A, and it's more about how well you can listen to the questions being given to you and how you respond to them.
That's an interesting part of the judging process. Okay. Now, there was a second round where it was a topic that you had no idea what you were going to discuss. You just kind of pull a topic out of a hat. What was the topic you had to discuss?
The topic that I had to discuss was, or the prompt was, Cayman must or should do more to protect its natural environment. I was so grateful
for that one
that I pulled that out of the jar, because it's something that is so topical right now in the Cayman Islands, and there's so much to speak about natural conservation and what we can do to better protect our environment. And I was so grateful. I literally smiled. I was so giddy. And in my impromptu speech, I actually quoted the national song, which I think was pretty cool. Beloved Isle Cayman, and how we must protect the belovedness of our island, and how we must protect it for future generations to come, so that they can call it beloved as well.
So you had 15 minutes to prepare for that speech.
15 minutes.
How did you make it happen in that 15 minutes? What were the key things that you were like, I need to incorporate in the speech to make it have an impact?
Yeah, so for me, it goes back to that same process that I did for my main prepared speech. It's brainstorming. What exactly do I want to talk about? Am I going to call people to change something? Am I going to outline the current crisis? And that thinking, the planning part, I just went in. I thought about, okay, climate change, resilience, how can we conserve, how can we protect, etc., etc. And as a result of that, then I went into my call to action. And I feel like a call to action is the most impactful part of a speech, especially impromptu speeches. And so I really try to hammer the idea that we should do more to protect our natural environment, so that Cayman is an island where everybody can call home, where I'd be proud to call the Cayman Islands my home, and just honing on that emotional aspect as well, drawing on people's emotion. I remember there's a part where I was like, and in the national song it says, "Oh land of soft fresh breezes," but I called a parallel to say, "Oh land of mosquitoes." "Oh land of heat waves."
They almost carried me away last night.
Yes, and drawing that parallel and making it personal was definitely something that I had to do to ensure that the message of the speech hit home.
Okay, I love that. So what was it like when that winning moment came, when they crowned you as the winner?
Oh my goodness. I know that maybe I sound calm, cool, and composed now, but I was not calm, cool, or composed on that day. It was such a nerve-wracking day, as I said, because it was such a different experience, such a contrasting experience to what I experienced, speaking in youth parliament and other public aspects. And so it was so nerve-wracking. I was nervous. I think Mr. Sean, he can tell you, he can testify of the fact that I was a nervous wreck the whole day, not even when they were announcing who was in the finals or who was inevitably the grand final winner. I was so nervous, and that nervousness carried through to that last final moment where I literally had people asking me, "Are you okay? Do you need water? Are you good?" Because I was generally, as I would say, fretting. I was fretting, and it was just such a nerve-wracking experience, but overall it was very rewarding.
Awesome. Excellent. Well, now we're preparing for London because this is, what stage is this now, the London competition?
What do you mean by stage?
Is it for the ESU? So is it the final competition round?
All of this happens again, but now every country competes.
Okay.
So Janelle will be doing another prepared speech. She'll then go into an impromptu round. About 4 to 6 people will get into the final and they'll speak in the Royal Institution. There will be some world-renowned judges over there, and then a champion will be crowned. And it will be
Janelle is speaking against all the other winners from each respective country. Do we know how many countries are involved?
It's between 40 and 50. They're still being confirmed.
Okay.
But she will be competing with national champions from all across the globe.
What does prep look like for this? Because this is a bigger step, way bigger audience and way tougher competition.
So the beauty of London is the first, in Cayman, we had a 1-day boot camp. In London, it's 3 days and it's world class. For someone who loves theatre, as an example, you're taken to the Globe Theatre to experience what it's like to take the stage at the Globe. And you have training courses with some actors and orators that have been doing Shakespeare for over a decade. In our case, in our branch, we're going to do our best to support her as much as we can. We have a lot of judges and local experts that are stepping in to train her and prep her. Breathwork is going to be one of them, as an example. We've already spoken about it. We also set up a few workshops for her to help her prepare her speech, or rather to help guide her in preparing her speech to refine it as much as she can. Essentially, we want to empower her with as many tools as possible, but then allow her to take her own decisions and make this her experience to the best of our capacity.
And when is the London competition?
13th July is when she starts, and it's
right around the corner.
It's right around the corner, and it'll be done by the 17th of July.
Okay, amazing. Now, I got to wrap the show, but Janelle, I'm going to ask you, what are you most looking forward to experience the ESU competition in London?
Well, I'm most looking forward to the exchange of culture. I think that conversation between differing countries, differing perspectives, and just learning more about my potential in public speaking and what exactly I can do. I think that's that's the thing that I'm looking forward to the most. And yeah, just that conversation. I really want to hear what the Chinese representative has to say about the topic, or the Japanese representative has to say. So I'm really excited for that cultural exchange, and maybe I can share a few nuggets from the Cayman Islands perspective.
Absolutely.
And yeah, just being, and also putting Cayman on the map, because this is the first time the Caribbean is being a part of this competition, and so putting the Cayman Islands, our small little dot, on the map and on the global stage is also what I'm most looking forward to.
The first time since the first time since 1918, I think, that's the year I think that ESU started.
Yeah.
So it's pretty amazing. You'll be repping the Cayman Islands,
yeah,
the whole Caribbean region actually.
Yeah.
So best of luck to you
so
come July. I think it'll be a great experience. I love the fact that you said you're looking forward to the cultural exchange of information, just understanding how one culture may have a different perspective, and that just only widens yours, and it's a beautiful thing. The other thing I love that you said, because I believe in popping your collar, is that you want to see how you can develop in this as a public speaker. And I love that. I love that because you are seeing within yourself how you can be better and the tools and the people and the opportunities that you can take to get you there.
Yes.
And that's a huge thing for people to realize in their life, and you're realizing it now. So go after it, girl. I hope you do excellent in London.
Thank you so much. I really
No
appreciate
problem. Great to have you on the show today.
Thank you.
No problem at all. And to all my listeners again, big shout out again to Jaden Reed and Devontae Howell of the Cayman Islands. Again, my biggest, happiest news of 2026 so far for the Cayman Islands. And as Janelle said, Cayman is being put on a world stage right now. We're seeing what we're doing in track and field right now, and we're going to see what we're doing in the space of public speaking as it comes to our youth. So hopefully we'll find out after her experience in London how that went. But until then, I'll be back with you on The Buzz. Every Tuesday and Thursday morning, I'll be back with you on Thursday. Have a great day, everyone.
The Buzz is proudly sponsored by Cayman Insurance Center, specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services. And Kirk Market. Experience